Hi, my name's Dennis Finesse, and you're watching Whoa, Who Said That? Today's guest is American professional racing cyclist Emma White. Emma jumped on the racing scene at 9 years old, winning multiple national racing titles. At 15, Emma turned pro with the goals of being an Olympic hopeful. In 2020, Emma won a gold medal at the World Championships and a berth to the Tokyo Olympics. When the pandemic hit, it canceled the Olympics, putting a halt to Emma's dream. However, Emma continued to work hard and eventually won a bronze medal at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Today we learn how Emma balanced the challenges of being an Olympian and pursued a degree at Union College in Schenectady, New York. Let's go. Hi, my name is Dennis Finesse. I'm a professor, author, and motivational speaker. For the past 20 years, I've traveled all over North America, meeting incredible people with amazing life stories. On Whoa, Who Said That, we're going to highlight the most extraordinary individuals and discuss their triumphs, accomplishments, obstacles, and achievements. This isn't your ordinary digital series. This is Whoa, Who Said That? Absolutely beyond honored. We have an Olympic bronze medalist, Emma White. Emma, thank you so much for the interview. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
We're going to get into it in a minute. You were coming off a big high. You just came back from Tokyo a little while ago. Before we get into that, though, tell me about Emma White. Who is Emma White?
Well, I'm 24 years old and I've been racing professionally for 6 years now, but just racing my bike since I was 9. So we're coming up on 15 years.
Oh.
And started racing track cycling 3 years ago, which has brought me an Olympic medal. So that was kind of a whirlwind for sure.
That is, congratulations. That is absolutely unbelievable. We were sitting by waiting to see the news, and it's so exciting. So I'm so proud of you. You did it. And what was that feeling like when you had that medal put around your neck?
It was pretty unbelievable. The lead up was certainly one of the longest things I've ever done in my life with the postponement of the Olympics because of COVID. We were, so a year and a half ago, we won the World Championships. So we were the favorites going into Tokyo 2020. And with the postponement, we had to hold on to that power and that motivation for a whole extra year through COVID and highs and lows. And I was living in Colorado Springs with my team, and just to finally get to Tokyo was a win within itself. I mean, that was something to celebrate. And then getting on the podium was another, just such a special feeling. And it just felt like everything that I've ever worked for was finally coming true.
You're beaming ear to ear. It's so cool. So that leads up to a question. So it was postponed last year because of the pandemic. So in advance, how long were you training last year prior to the postponement? And how big was that letdown when it happened? Because you worked so hard to reach the peak of your event in your sport, and then all of a sudden, was it like the wind was knocked out of your sails?
Yeah, I mean, we were on a high coming back from Berlin where the World Championships were, and that to me was the peak. That was, we had just become world champions, and so then we were just going to carry that. We were so excited. I mean, to go into the Olympics as the favorite is a lot of pressure, but it's also really exciting, and it put us in a awesome position. And then day by day, we kind of saw the world turning around. So before it was announced, we actually had a pretty good idea. And every day I'd wake up and I'd be like, is today the day that it's final? And sure enough, that day finally rolled around. And all I have to say is that I am so thankful I was in Colorado Springs with my team during that period, because if I had been alone trying to train by myself, it would have been really difficult to get through. But I was with my team, staying at the Olympic Training Center, seeing my coach every day, and that was just a huge motivation. Although we didn't know what exactly we were training for anymore, it was just nice to be with people and just doing what we loved.
So was there concern at one point that, okay, Olympics are every 4 years, I may have missed my turn, will they have it next year? Did that go through your mind a little bit? And was it stressful?
Every single day it did.
Yeah.
There was a big period where I thought it wasn't going to happen at all, and I thought about how I was going to cope with that, and I knew it would be difficult, but we were world champions, and I tried to look at the positives and all the things that we had done. The Olympics weren't always on my bucket list. It wasn't like I grew up wanting to become an Olympian. I wanted to become a world champion. And then as soon as I got that, I want more. And that's kind of how my entire cycling career went. I get a little bit and I just want more. So I knew that there were a lot of things that I was very proud of, but it would have been really hard to do that entire buildup and then have them be canceled. And it wasn't until we got there, a touched foot in Tokyo, that I was certain that it wasn't going to happen.
Oh my gosh, that would have been huge. So after the Olympics were canceled last year, was there a point where you said, I don't know if I can go through this again? Like, because that's a lot of training, or did that motivate you more?
There were certainly just kind of ebbs and flows, for sure. My coach is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 4-time Olympian.
Amazing.
And that was her advice. Her advice is like, the year lead in to an Olympic is so difficult, and it's going to be so very emotional and very hard. And I felt the whole entire time, I was thinking, okay, if the year before any Olympics is hard, what about 2 years before the Olympics? Like,
absolutely,
we do that same buildup twice. And I just had a really great support system. And I think that I was very fortunate, because I never hit that like super, super crazy low, or I kept thinking about, like what it would feel like to finally be there, and what it would feel like to be on the podium. And sure enough, it just passed all expectations.
So there were no fans allowed.
Mm-mm.
What is it like because as an athlete, you've performed in front of fans, which they're screaming, yelling, family, they provide you motivation. Now you're going from within, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the velodrome, there was actually, because we were in a satellite village outside of Tokyo, we actually had half capacity of fans in the velodrome.
Okay.
But they were all local fans. It was very of course, none of my family was allowed to come, and so it wasn't too crazy. I also think that as soon as the race starts, I just black out everything around me. So I don't think I would have noticed if there were fans or not. It certainly would have been a lot more quiet. But I felt like I really felt the cheers, and whether or not it was just in my head from all the people at home cheering at their TVs, or the half capacity stands from Tokyo residents, I felt the cheers for sure.
Now, follow it on social media. You have a wonderful family, wonderful support system. What was that first phone call like when you are an Olympic bronze medalist? What was that like?
It was so special. It took a while because they shuffled us through media and then the podium. And it wasn't until 3 hours after the race ended that I was finally able to pick up the call. And of course, it was 5 a.m. here after my parents had stayed up all night long. I think the first race was at 1 a.m., 1 or 2, and then it was 3 or 4. So they were just waiting to talk to me. But it was just really special. After 3 rounds, we had 3 rounds of racing. So we really, yeah, that last round there was a lot of pressure, and of course there was a medal on the line. So to finally be able to breathe afterwards, after stood on the podium, it was really special.
Amazing, amazing. When did you know? All right, so at 9 years old, you really started. When did you say, I'm gonna really start to take this serious?
So I went to the Junior World Championships when I was both 16 and 17 years old. And during those years, I was racing for a junior men's team. And so there were 7 guys and then me. And those guys
Awesome.
became my brothers. I mean, my absolute best friends. And they still are today. I'm still in touch with them all the time. So that was a significant turning period for me, because I realized that, like, I could travel the world. I love doing this. I love the people I'm doing it with. And it just, like, I really found so much love for the sport in those couple years. And I went to the Junior World Championships in Ponferrada, Spain in 2014, and then Richmond, Virginia in 2015. And in 2015, I got a silver medal in both the road race and the time trial. And I signed for my first professional team, Rally Cycling, which I've been with for the last 6 years. So that was a big moment for me. As soon as I went professional, this became my job, and I had to take it seriously. And also, I was having so much fun doing it, and that team has been incredible. And I've stayed with them for the last 6 years, and have gone further than I ever thought I would.
As you were talking, the places you've traveled, is there a favorite place you've enjoyed to train? And is there a bucket list place you want to train?
Yeah, it's funny. Everywhere we've gone for cycling, it hasn't been like tourist locations, but I've added each place to my bucket list to travel post-cycling. Tokyo being at the top of the list right now. I saw enough to make me want to go back, but I really didn't get to explore it very much. One place I really got to explore was New Zealand and Australia, which I loved both of those places, and I'm really excited to go back.
You always say travel while you're young, and you have traveled while you're young, and you've seen the world. It's absolutely amazing.
It's a great way to do it, that's for sure.
Oh, and yes. All right. What advice would you give to your young self, a young Emma White, getting ready to break in? Now you're a world champion. You're an Olympic bronze medalist. Is there any advice you would give to yourself or to young cyclists growing up?
Yeah, I would say just like take every opportunity as it comes and make the most of it. And I think that's been really special for sure. I've just been given so many opportunities, and to thank everybody who gives you those opportunities. There's so many people out there willing to help and create this amazing career for you. And it's just been so special looking back at all the people who've just gone out of their way to make these opportunities for me.
Well, Emma, the first thing I think of, and I've been a college professor 25 years, and I understand the rigors that goes into college. You went to Union College, which is a very prestigious and rigorous college. How did you, because I'm putting this together, how did you balance going to one of the toughest colleges in the country and balance being one of the top cyclists in the world?
Yeah, I went into college saying, I'm going to master being a professional cyclist and making the most out of my college experience, because I don't want to look back and say I missed out on this, or I wish I could redo those years. And I truly believe I did. I think I really needed that balance in my life to make time for friends and to make time for cycling, and they balance each other out perfectly. And so I just feel very fortunate because my professors, huge shout out to them, because I couldn't have gotten through it without their help and support. When I would travel for weeks on end, they would be my biggest support system. And I know not all athletes have that same experience with professors and their schools. So I just felt like everybody was really backing me up, and my friends too. Like I feel very fortunate because I know that not everybody has the same experience, but I was able to make the most of both of them.
That's absolutely incredible. All right. What's your favorite type of music?
Country. And a lot of people hate that answer.
Country. All right. All right. Now, if you hop on your playlist, what are your top 5 songs?
Oh, man. They're probably all Taylor Swift, even though that's not all country.
All right. No, what's the top
Big Taylor Swift fan.
All right.
Loyal.
Yeah. She not far from us. Have you been down towards Watch Hill, where she has her Watch Hill, Rhode Island? She has her huge mansion.
Yes, I actually spent some time in Newport last summer, and we drove by it.
I grew up in Mystic, and we go down.
Oh yeah,
absolutely
that's beautiful, beautiful
unbelievable.
Place.
How do you spend your free time? What do you do to relax?
That's a good one. Spending time with friends and family, and that's a pretty basic answer, but I don't get time to do that very often with my crazy busy schedule. So I love to just hang out, and whether that means going out to dinner or just sitting at home playing with dogs, that's my favorite thing.
Incredible. Is there a cyclist you admired growing up that motivated you?
My coach, Kristen Armstrong, has motivated me in all walks of life, and she still helps me out so much.
That is absolutely incredible. Emma, I have a few more questions. Hold on a second. All right. Your top 3 Netflix series to watch.
Ooh, gonna have to go with Grey's Anatomy. That's also a basic answer.
All right. I love it.
And I love I like reality TV shows. There's a couple on there. Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And maybe some crime shows.
Oh, love the crime. Like, are you Criminal Minded? 20
yeah,
there you go.
Criminal Mind. Gives me bad dreams, but it does. I do like it.
You do it anyway. All right. The big question: what is next for Emma White?
That is a big question. Cycling is always going to be a huge part of my life, and I'm not really sure to what aspect. I'm really excited for what comes next for me, and I'm gonna start looking for a career and kick off the rest of my life. So it's kind of a big question mark right now. What comes next?
Emma, you have what you've accomplished in 24 years can take people 10 lifetimes to accomplish, and you've done it all. Do you have in the back of your mind making another run at the Olympics?
I don't think so. Not for me. And I feel very satisfied with one Olympic Games.
Listen, you should be satisfied with everything you've done. You're just absolutely incredible. Well, with Whoa Who Said That, we do a little trivia round, and I actually call it the Whoa Who Said That speed round. So what I'm going to do, obviously you're in cycling, I'm going to name 2 cyclists, and I want you to tell me, out of those cyclists, because you're all about endurance, out of the 2 cyclists I mentioned, who would win a 10-mile road race? All right?
Okay.
So give me 2 cyclists. Fabiana Luperini or Marianne Vos?
Marianne Vos, for sure.
All right, all right. Connie Carpenter Finney or Burrell Burton?
Connie Carpenter.
All right. Here's the final one. Lance Armstrong or Miguel Indurain? Lance
Armstrong.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Gonna have to stick with him.
He finished cycling, and then all of a sudden he ran a marathon, New York Marathon, I think under 2:30, which is absolutely insane. Emma, unbelievable. I'm so honored that you took the time. Big fan, big supporter, as you know.
Thank you so much.
My daughter, Sarah, and you went to the same college, and you're an amazing young lady, and I look forward to seeing what the future brings to you, which is going to be nothing but great things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Here with Emma White, who just destroyed the 15-16 race.
Well, not planning on stopping there.
So now we turn our attention to the gold medal prize, the battle between the United States of America
hope someday it's good to go as far as I have.